Welcome to Business Time, the main stage for your business.
Hello, welcome to a new episode on our podcast. And today, if you are young entrepreneurs, if you are business owners, and you want to learn some amazing lessons from a guy that started as a pilot and now runs many businesses, this is the episode for you. I want to welcome Hamad Al Marri for our episode. Hey, Hamad, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, speaking to you during those few weeks and getting prepared for this podcast. And you have a really unique story. I hear many business owners sitting in this chair speaking to me about their businesses, but you have a really unique story, and I want you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself. You started, as we mentioned before, as a pilot, and you became a business owner out of it. So tell us a little bit about your personal story.
Well, first of all, I'm 35 years old. I live in Abu Dhabi, and my business story started when I was younger. I always had a passion for being someone different, excelling in a field. I always wanted to provide for my family and learn from others. So initially, I started my journey. After finishing high school, I realized a lot of my friends couldn't find jobs, even though they've got their degrees. So I decided that I will study and work at the same time. And then initially, I wanted to be in police, but God had a different plan for me. I decided to look for a normal job. I didn't feel the restrictions, and I wanted to travel and see the world, basically. So after that, I decided to look for different jobs, and I stumbled on aviation. I saw an ad on MSN, if you remember that.
Oh, it's
it was like for Emiratis, who likes to fly. So I saw the ad, I clicked on it. A major airline in UAE showed up. I was like, let me try and apply for being a pilot. 2 weeks later, they call me up and they tell me come for interviews and examination. I kept passing all the examination, the interviews. And the more I went there, the more I realized I want to do this. I saw the professionalism in the company, and it started developing this feeling for me. And then years passed, I became a pilot. I traveled around the world. I saw a lot of businesses and ideas. And one day it hit me that I want to do my own business. So I started looking for things to do. And one of it was Talabat idea, but we thought about it differently. It was booming in the Gulf. And we thought that we always had the struggle of finding a place to go to for dinner, or like you're looking for a special occasion or stuff like that. So we thought of something called tawlat, which means tables in Arabic, which is similar to talabat, basically. We tried the idea. We went around and presented it to a lot of VCs and businesses that we would want to acquire. They really liked it. We signed up major hotels in the country. But I felt the time was not the best for it, because social media is not the same as it was right now. And people were not customized to the online business. So we decided to put it on hold, but we learned a lot from that business.
Definitely. And, it's amazing that you've told your story, from, your experience as a pilot and to your experience as an entrepreneur, that you told us right off the beginning about an unsuccessful one, which a lot of people, try to hide their unsuccessful past, but we'll definitely talk about it and the lessons you've learned from this experience. But before that, I want to touch a little bit about the pilot part, because I know many business owners. I don't know many pilots that became business owners afterwards. And I know that there are many, points of connection between being a pilot and owning a business or being an entrepreneur. So can you tell me what in your experience as a pilot helped you as a business owner?
There's a lot of things that it's in common, because we deal with different people all the time. The same person I'm flying with today could be a different person next day. So you get to meet a lot of people. One of the questions I like to ask the pilots I'm flying with, if you had a different chance in life, would you choose the same path? Would you still be a pilot? Would you do something else? How did you meet your wife, for example? It's because I'm not married, so it's one of the questions you're looking for. You ask them how you manage your finances. So you pick up, imagine me, 21 years old, flying with a person who's 50 or 60 or even 30 or 40. I'm taking all that information from them for free, because we're in a place stuck there for a few hours, or we're flying to a destination for a few hours.
Autopilot is running and you need to be awake. So the questions
so you
are
get to know
running.
the person,
Yeah.
So you learn a lot of valuable lessons from them. And some of them wanted to have the same life. They wouldn't change anything. And some of them had regrets. And some of them was the regret of doing something different. Because sometimes you miss occasions, you miss birthdays, You miss, like for example, I missed my sister's wedding because I had to go travel somewhere. And being a professional pilot, you have to do it. It's your roster. Because if you don't go, someone else has to go. So sometimes families don't understand that part, or some of them, they support you. But this is the path that I chose. That's why I became more interested in business, because at least sometimes you'll be a bit in control of your time.
Yeah, and you mentioned before a little bit about your unsuccessful attempt of having a startup. What have you learned from this experience?
Like speaking about, I would not change anything. I would actually not change that, because I had to learn so much in a short period of time, because we had websites, applications, we had to hire staff, we have to do marketing. So it covered all aspects of business and depth. And we even spoke with one of the initiatives in the country, which is, I don't know if it still exists, it's called Tajir Dubai, like the businessmen of Dubai. So we presented our ideas to them, they supported us, and they liked it a lot. And I was presenting it in front of the VP of Dubai Chamber. And instead of me staying there for only 20 minutes, we ended up being there for like 45, asking me questions. So it was a very confident boost for myself that I knew, yes, maybe this time is not the right time for this business. Example, like YouTube. YouTube was started by a different company before broadband, like a year before. But people stopped watching it because the speed of the internet was not good enough. But a year later, broadband came into the market. Streaming was much faster. And then YouTube started that business, which another companies had the idea for you before. So sometimes you have to believe in God and say it's not the right time. And take what you learned from this experience and implement it on something else.
What have you learned that you would do different if you had this business idea again?
Well, I think there was two factors. One, the timing, as we mentioned, it was premature. So you have to really research the market. Yes, there was a problem that we could have fixed, but maybe people did not want this problem to be fixed right now, or the tools was not enough there. Two, I was very ambitious and passionate. So it made me feel that I could do it. But you need a lot of steps. You need a lot of planning. You need to study the market. You need to go through a lot of things. So you need to be very, very prepared before you start. The idea came 2 days later. We came up with the name. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, like this. It was very fast.
Yeah.
So I would slow down, analyze the market, understand why it's not has been done yet. Because there were similar systems, but they were different at the same time.
Yeah, and I know that from that venture you moved on and you have a business now, and now you are starting a new way. So tell us a little bit about your current ideas.
So one of the businesses I have that I really like is called Mantis Gen Salon. Every time I talk to my friends, everybody, almost all the guys, they have a dream to start their own barbershop, because it's something we go to.
Every guy has a dream to have a barbershop and a restaurant, maybe.
Yeah,
I know
or a coffee shop or something like this.
Yeah.
So this idea was in my head all the time. One of my relatives, they opened a coffee shop in an area that is in front of my place of work. And we always thought this area is going to be like a mall or something, but it was a residential. And once they opened their coffee shop, I saw the traffic there. So I was like, what's missing? The only thing was missing is a barbershop. So that was like, let's say January. By 3 months, 4 months later, I've already researched everything and we opened the barbershop. I had no idea about the business at all. I knew just few barbers in the area. I approached one of them and he's decided to join me into this venture. So I had to learn everything from suppliers to how to fix a shop. What do you need from legal requirements, everything. And I had a lot of people. I was lucky enough with my connection and my friends that there's a lot of people who helped me. But it took a lot of personal effort too to understand, because you are running around the clock trying to finish so many multiple things to meet at a certain date so you can do your opening. There is approvals, there is hiring staff, there is opening files in the immigration, from getting the materials. There's so many things. So I thought about the business in general, and I was like, imagine if I didn't have these connections. So deep down, I felt like I should help people do the same and encourage them to do the same. So now we are very successful in the market. We've been around 3 years in the market. We have over 1,300 reviews. I think we are number 1 now in Abu Dhabi. And we have over 10,000 clients. And now we're planning soon to open in Dubai and Business Bay. So I'm looking forward to that.
And what if I feel that it's a big shift from being a pilot to have a barbershop. So what caused you, to do that shift? It's a big shift. I don't know if it's good or worse, but it's a shift. It's a big one.
Well, it's about opportunities. Sometimes you have to do things differently in order to succeed. So from my first business, I realized going too big, too fast, going for something that's could change your life. You're talking about millions in that business. You could make millions and billions of dollars from that type of business. But you should start small, I believe. You should build a good base. Like services is high in demand. Everybody needs to cut their hair. Everybody needs to eat in a restaurant. Everybody needs to drink coffee. Everybody needs to buy from the supermarket. So starting services businesses and start small and grow over time will give you a lot of valuable lessons, a lot of experience. You're not going to make big mistakes. You're not going to lose 1 million or 2 million dirhams or 3 million dirhams, because that's what it requires to open an IT company and services and marketing. You will put a smaller budget. Even if you make mistakes, you can recover easily. Like our performance is very high now. I can notice if my business performance decreases next month. I can analyze it easier. Why is my business not doing well this month? What happened? Is it maybe Ramadan? People are not very interested. There's a lot of holidays. Is it school time? So to go up it takes a lot of time to raise higher in the business and to increase your revenue. And it takes a longer time for you to lose. So it's easier to manage your business. So when you have a stronger base with a safer investment, once you have enough, you can start going to the next level, go for high risk, high return, and so on. And if it doesn't work, you still have the base down there that you can try again and again and again.
Yeah, so you basically recommend, first-time business owners to start from maybe a service base or something with, as you said, lower risk. Yes. To get the hang of it and to understand better. And even though, moving from a tech company, from an IT company to a service-based company, what are the lessons that you've learned from that? So after you've, worked on your apps and your websites and you've went to VCs and did all those, higher volume, I might say type of thing, and doing it on a barbershop that, as you said, require a little bit less of resources. So what have you learned, or what lessons you implemented from your experience from the IT company?
Well, I feel running a small business company or that is the same as running a big company. It has all the same factors. You have operation, you have marketing, you have payroll, you have finances. It's just the scale is bigger. But to do something as bigger as an IT and stuff, you have to talk to really experienced people in the industry, and they will give you guidance and experience. So going from that to this felt much easier from going from the first process, because I already have information. It's not like it was the beginning of it. I just had to adapt and seek different type of information. And at the end of the day, I'm a guy, so I understand what men wants in a sense.
Yeah.
So basically, this business, I made it for myself in general. I saw what I didn't like in the market. Our designs are very bright, very relaxing. I felt that's what was going to work for a person like me. So I saw what's different, that the market needed, and what's different, and what I liked. And I asked my friends, and we came up with an idea where it's suitable for everybody.
And from that, but there is other things in the way to be a successful, service-based owner, a business owner. So, it's first of all about clients, because you meet your clients directly. In an app, you don't. They go inside your app, they use it, and you understand based on their usage. But here you meet your clients daily. So how is that thing, of giving the customer service, of meeting your clients? Was it for you?
Well, meeting the client face-to-face is much better because you can ask for their feedback directly. But if you go on an app and you don't like it, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to delete the app and move on.
Of it, yeah.
Exactly. You're going to look for the next option. But having a service in a location, it's much easier because sometimes you want a barbershop that's next to you. So if you come today and you don't like it, you would put some effort to maybe leave a bad review or leave a good review. So as a business owner with using the new technologies and stuff, I know everything that happens in my shop. As soon as there is a good review or a bad review, I reply to them and I thank them for it or understand what's the problem and I do my best to fix it.
And even though, getting your barbershop to 1,300 positive reviews on Google and a lot of satisfied customers, as you mentioned. It's a really tough game because not everyone is satisfied all of the time. You know, people are not liking that haircut they did, or something went wrong, or you know, sometimes an appointment has been forgotten or not been written correctly. Those things are happening for every business. Every business has its own glitches, you know, its own problems. So how do you still maintain customer satisfaction in a business? How do you do that?
See, mostly it's two major things. One, you need to be a good leader. You need to delegate to your staff. You need to find the right team. You need to use the right systems. So I believe in partnership. I believe in leading with example. So if you have a really good team that can support you and has good communication skills, they can manage the small tasks. Sometimes there's an issue that happens I don't know about, but I'm briefed about it later. Some issues I know about. So you have to trust your team. You have to delegate. You have to be in partnership. If they need you, they know they can ask for your help. This is the main key. And you have to listen to your clients. There's a saying that you only learn from unhappy clients. Happy clients, you don't learn them much because they don't give you too much feedback. They'll be like, it's good, it's great, thank you. But unsatisfied client will guide you and gives you the areas that you should work on.
Yeah.
Maybe something you're not seeing or you're not noticing.
And maybe you don't know that there's another service that you can add. Maybe, like I'll tell you from my own business, most of the good, you know, add-ons ideas, you know, the upsell, you might say, came from my clients. You know, they told me, hey, why you don't have this and that? So I did it and people actually wanted it. So It's a really good way to see that. But you just mentioned that you're going to open a new branch in Dubai, far from your home. So, and let's use that opportunity to talk about scale, because that's another obstacle that many business owners have. They run one successful location, everything is going well, they are very involved, like yourself, you are very involved in your business now, and now opening a second branch will have you, you know, more involved maybe at the beginning over there in Dubai and less in Abu Dhabi, so maybe things will change. So how do you handle those scale challenges?
Well, in the beginning, you have to be there. Like, let's say the first 6 months, I was always in the shop when I can. I had to support my team. I had to support the clients, make sure the customer experience is pleasant. But as a business owner, if you want to call yourself a business owner, the business needs to run without you. If the business cannot run without you, then you're an employee of the business. So initially, you should work as hard as you could, support your team. But then later on, you got to trust them. You got to help them create systems. You have to use softwares. Now with AI and new technologies, it's much easier. You can see what's happening in your shop. So by creating systems and delegating, it allows you to move on from this location to another location. But as you said, it's very important not to forget the first location. You should always create a strategy, how you're going to manage it. So for example, right now when we open in Dubai in January, hopefully, when everything goes well, I will be more focused in Dubai because I trust my team in Abu Dhabi. And I will also look for talented individuals that live in Dubai, have experience in Dubai, to help me run Dubai location, and so on.
Yeah, so what you're saying basically is to make sure of a good team, of a capable team that you can count on.
Exactly.
Once you have that, it makes much easier.
And the best way to do that is they need to see potential in the company. If they don't have a chance to grow in this company or have upside to it, or they will not think of it as their own business. They're not going to put 100% in it. So you need to create value for them. You need to listen to them. You need their advice. But ultimately, you are the business owner. You have to make the right decision for the business. You have to trust your gut and what's the best for your employees. Like, I have a lot of staff now who got married, who have their kids, and that would not have been possible if they didn't work with me. So changing people's lives is very important to me. Like, I don't think of it as a business anymore. I think of it as a family. I'm supporting my staff if there's any issues, if there's anything that they require.
Definitely, it's a journey. And, you know, a lot of people think that if you will be tough to your employees, it will make them work better. But it's not true. You actually need to be understanding and empathic towards them. That's what delivers the best results. And we also talked, you know, before our conversation here today, we talked a little bit about starting early, you know, because starting early, your business maybe can be one of the best things you can do, for yourself. So can you just explain why you do think that starting early is important for business owners?
There's a lot of reasons, because one, you're still young. You have a lot of energy. Like you have a lot of energy and time, but you don't have money. So these things, you have to work it out. If you start early, you make mistakes, you learn from them quicker. And if you start early, I recommend always to try to find a mentor. It will save you a lot of time and effort, someone to guide you through. Like I have a lot of friends now, they come to me asking me questions about business. They're interested. They see our success and how everybody recommends our locations and our services. And I could see it in their eyes. They want to be part of it. They're like, a lot of them came to me. It's like, if you open another branch and you're looking for a partner, tell me about it. I want to join you. If they start asking their question, what about opening this? What about opening that? So it's very important to choose your friends wisely in a young age, because you're always going to be almost the same like them. If you are the smartest person in a room, they always tell you don't be in that room because you're not going to learn value. You'll be teaching others only. So I believe that you should show interest. It takes time to change your mindset. Read a lot of books. Start a small business if you can. Develop your skills. You don't need money to make money anymore. You can make money at home by making content. If you have internet and a phone, you can do a lot of things. And starting early is very important because it takes time to figure out what you want to do. Like today, when I was 20, I wanted to be in police. When I was 25, I wanted to become a captain or a pilot or this. At 30, I wanted something different. So our mindset will change always every 5 years. And I think the more you try, the more you know. So it's all about data and information.
Definitely. Data, information, and maybe, like you mentioned, also risks. You need to take risks. You need to dare. You need to take your chances. And I know that it's also one of the most important things in businesses. So let's talk a little bit about calculated risk, about how to get the risk correctly and make sure that we take risks, but we don't lose, everything on the way. So how do you do it?
Well, at the beginning, when I was younger, I wasn't afraid because I was young. I didn't have a family or someone to support 100%. It was like, yes, I always liked to help my family and support them. But there was always my brother, my sisters that were there to support the family. So if I make a mistake, I would recover from it. But I noticed this, remember when we were talking about the pilots?
Yeah.
A lot of them, they don't want to take risks anymore because they have kids and they have responsibilities. But the upside of this risk is much more reward. Like they could retire much earlier than 65, for example. This is the retirement age. So for me, I realized that information is key. The more you know about something, the more you understand it, the more you ask, there's always going to be a risk, but you can minimize the risk. Like for example, in my business, location is very important. So if you can find a good location, good parking space, good space in the shop itself, offering good services, nice decor, you minimize your risk slowly. It can never be 100%, but with experience and with mentorship and stuff, you can minimize this risk to very low, like small percentage, 5 to 10%, 20%.
Definitely. And discussing about, coming back to your time as a pilot and here now as a business owner, it's a big leap going from, being an employee to an entrepreneur. Big change of mindset, big change of responsibilities. As you said, you had a lot of free time as a pilot, but not as an entrepreneur because you worked much more. So how have you got to the idea of doing this leap, this change in your life?
Well, it's not a very big leap, to be honest, because in an airplane, we are in charge of people's lives. We have hundreds of passengers on board. We are in charge of cabin crew and our colleagues. So we have a lot of responsibility. So being a pilot teaches you decision-making. You have no room of errors in the cockpit. It helps you navigate through a lot of changes. We don't stop. We cannot just park and say, what do I need to do to fix this problem? You're always on the move. You need to be quick on your feet. You need to think of solution. You need to be prepared. Like we take a lot of training for this. We have communication courses. The way I ask you a question and the way I grab your attention is very important. You don't want to cause conflicts. You don't want to cause friction between you two. So the way you ask, the way you speak, the way you deliver the message, you need to make sure that everybody knows what we're trying to do. Like from the point we reach to the airport to the point we take off and land. It's a harmony. So this is the same in business. You need to align your ideas, your decisions for an ultimate goal, reaching home safely and going back to your family.
Sure, but still, you make it sound like really easy thing to do. But there are many people that stuck in this stage, really want, to become an entrepreneur. They want to have their own business, but they don't do it because it feels so terrifying for them. So, what tips do you have for people that are employees now? They can be a pilot, they can be anything else, but they still want to be an entrepreneur one day. What can help them, get out and actually do this move?
Well, one of it is your environment. If you see your friends succeeding, if you are around people who are successful, that will rub on you. 2 is putting effort and time into learning. The more knowledge you have, the more comfortable you'll be. 3, I would say, start small. You don't have to go big. You don't have to make a lot of money or become with a bigger idea. Everybody's trying to copy, example, Amazon or Talabat or all these major companies. They want to get rich fast. They don't want to enjoy the journey. So for me, the more I got in depth into the journey, the more I liked it. It became an obsession. If I have time, I think of a new idea. I think of how to improve this, how to do that. It's a passion. It's a way of life. But not everybody has to do it. If you really want to support yourself, grow, increase your horizon, support your family, have more time for yourself and your family, it's a way to go to. But if you're happy with your job, your income, you can stay there, enjoy the life the way it is. But then something like Corona could happen and you end up losing your job. There's no another income for you and your family. This is what happened to me personally. Like when Corona came, there was no flying. So we had to stay home. Our income was much less than what we normally get. You have liabilities, you have banks, you have looking after you. So they will help you for a short period of time. So for me, Corona was the wake-up call that I have to be serious. I have to improve my finances. I have to increase my income. I have to learn new skills. I'm a business owner and a pilot, but I know how to edit videos. I know how to use Photoshop. I know how to create content. You have to be able to have these skills because in business, you need to communicate with professionals. So if you cannot really communicate with them, you cannot translate your thoughts to a way that they can understand, you will never get the product or the service you want. Because it's like coding, If you talk to an engineer, he's on a different level. He thinks about the codes, about this. Sometimes he doesn't think about the customer experience or the flow or the marketing aspect of an app, for example. So you have to have a lot of knowledge. You don't have to be an expert in everything, but you need to have some information.
Definitely. And, you mentioned a little bit that, your friends come to you, to get some business advices from you. So I know you've been helping them. And from your own experience, helping your friends and other business owners open their business. Let's talk a little bit about the key crucial things that are very important for business owners. Let's start. Maybe you mentioned it, the market research of your barbershop. So maybe you can just give us a few examples of how you looked, for the right location, for the right business idea, and getting in the right shape for everything.
For the locations and the business and idea and stuff, I believe in surveys. Surveys it's a very powerful tool, but people don't really utilize it anymore. They think it's outdated. Before I started my first business, I made a list of 10 questions. One of the questions, what's your name? What's your location? And then I asked core questions like, are you happy with your current barber? 50% of the people, they were like, we are not happy. So that's a good sign that people could shift their regular barbers. I thought the quality of the haircut is the best part of the barbershop, but people cared more about the cleanliness. I thought this is like second or third. So you get an understanding. When you do surveys, you understand what's your targeted audience. You ask them about the pricing, about the marketing that they want, what type of services they need. So you have 10 friends, like very close friends, most likely in your circle, but you are trying to do business with thousands of people. So your opinion and your friend's opinion is important, but it's not everything. So try to reach out to as many people as you can, get as much data as you can. And I know a lot of companies do this when they have a new product. They do an email list. They do a presentation of the business and they see if people like it or not. If a lot of people sign up and they want the idea, then they go into production and producing it.
But, on that note, sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't. So, and I know that you've helped many of friends and different business owners to create their business. Can you maybe share one of those stories, of helping, mentoring a business owner and helping him gain success in his field?
There's two stories I could think of. One of my friends for 12 years, he's against investing. He doesn't want to invest anywhere. It's like nothing. I'm like, this is good, try this, do that. So eventually, after 12 years of being friends, he saw what I've been through and where I reached. And he finally decided to join me in one of my ventures, and it's happening soon, inshallah. And there's another friend who was into business, wasn't really doing it as a main thing, but we came to a partnership and we started learning from each other and developing each other, and we went into partnership one of the businesses. And there's one more that I mentored him a bit. He opened his own coffee shop. I was against it initially because I told him there's better things to do, but he really wanted that. But with his passion and preservation into the business, he managed to succeed because he's passionate about it. So I cannot always be right. I can always guide the person to a business and teach him the structure, the legalities and everything. But sometimes it's from God, you do a business and it will work. He sends people to you.
Yeah, and about that, I feel that one of the things that also, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but is also, can be really tough and really easy in the same time. It really depends, is finding the right team. And also not just finding them, but motivate them, getting them, still doing their best A1 job, even though they are, old in their, wherever they're doing. They can be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, even sometimes employees in your business. And it's really difficult to keep them motivated for long periods. How do you do it? Do you have any tips about keeping your employees motivated?
I always motivate my friends, my employees. I always motivate my employees with prizes or trips or something to keep them going. We have an annual competition, for example, who gets the best reviews, who has the highest reviews with the clients. We do team activities. And they are like partners in my business. If we make more money, they make more money. If we have an opportunity for you to have a better position, you will get that. We always value our core staff over the new staff because they would want to be treated the same way. And I think you just have to be transparent and honest with them. If you need support from your employees, you have to tell them. If it's tough times, you have to tell them why is it. When it's good times, you have to reward them for it. You want to build loyalty. Because even with your employees and suppliers, it's a partnership. If I do well, you do well. If you do bad, I do bad. It's the same. But if you don't create that environment, if you don't create your business around the system, if they are not getting rewarded when you are rewarded, they will not put their most effort into the business. They will look for something else or they will stay the same.
Yeah, and also one thing that I feel that many business owners are struggling with it pretty badly actually is marketing. They want to get the people in, and not just to get some people, to get the right people in, because no company in the world sells to 100% of the population, or each of them has their targeted audience. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, but it's a targeted audience. And taking a barbershop in a city, in a big city like Abu Dhabi, and making them number one barbershop, it's a process that requires a lot of good marketing. So if you have any special ideas, or how to even understood marketing and make it in your own barbershop?
Marketing is a tricky thing, there's different aspects. You as a retail shop, you have to think about social media and the tools that is available. Example, when you go for Google is the people who are looking for you. Usually you go barbershop near me. So This is a client who's looking for you. So you need to make it easier for him to find you. So you have to understand, example, Google Ads, how to do it. Your SEO, you have to do this. Social media and advertisement is more about introducing your brand, people seeing you and being curious to know about you more. And honestly, I believe the best marketing is happy clients. If you have a happy clients, you provide a very good experience. They will speak about your business. I have a lot of clients who have their cousins, their friends they haven't seen in years. They come to my barbershop. It doesn't feel like a barbershop anymore. It feels like a community, You haven't seen a person for 5-6 years and you run there, or you meet them by chance and you talk about the business. So it makes me happy seeing this, and I want to replicate this all over the UAE.
So Hamad, I want to say one more thing about, because we discussed a lot about it in before our interview today, about your family, about the connection between your family and how you grew up as a kid to being a business owner today. So can you tell us a little bit about that connection?
Definitely. Family is everything, especially here in UAE. We are always close to each other. We live with each other most of our lives. My family is a very modest family. They give us a lot of values in our life, me and my sisters and brothers. But they were not business oriented. They worked really hard to provide everything that we have. And they taught me a lot of resilience and how if you want something, you should go for yourself. And I wanted to retain that favor. And I started pushing myself to learn more and more about business to provide a comfortable life for my family. And I will always be grateful for them for this. So I think I screwed this up.
No, it was good. It was good. Just put a dot in the finish, like finish the sentence and you are good. I'll just write it down. You continue from the same spot if you can.
Okay. So my family taught me a lot about being resilient and to care and support other people around me. And I realized that I want to return this favor. And that was the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey. I wanted to support my family, my community, and to give them the best life possible. So it was my motivation.
Amazing. I think it's the best motivation, to be around people that love you and care about you and you care about them. And definitely when I learned more about the UAE, I saw what family means here, and it's really inspiring to me even. Let's talk a little bit about the future, because you've just told me that you're going to open a new location for a barbershop. You're going to have many locations around the UAE, and you're also going to help other business owners create their own wealth and success. So what do you see in your future? What are your future goals?
My future goals is to make an impact in the grooming industry and probably other industries, because I am passionate and I believe that you can create your own dreams, you can achieve your own dreams. You should never give up from one failure, and you should always start early, educate yourself as much as possible. So our goal is to be number one in UAE and maybe in the Gulf, and hopefully expand further. But my true passion is to help people who were in the same position as me. I want to mentor them, I want to guide them, invest with them, and create opportunities for them. Because it's hard. It's hard when you... In our days, there was not this much information on the internet. You are in 2 decades, you had Nokia phones with no internet connection, to iPhones, to going further. So the information was not as accessible. And sometimes having too much information is a problem. So it's always good to consult, to have a mentor that can guide you through the process. And it's honestly beneficial for both the mentor and the trainee, what do you call it?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. It's a relation that they're doing both for 2 things. And I feel that also the satisfaction or the benefit you're getting from helping somebody create success in his life is something that you can't match. Some people, I know that some business consultants I've worked with over the years told me that it's like having kids. It's like, seeing your kid growing up and going to preschool and to school and to high school. So it's definitely like that. Hamad, we are coming close to the end of this interview. Do you have any message you would like to share with our audience before we finish?
Definitely. I think you should start early. This is the main key. You should start, fail. Failure comes, it's natural. Nobody made it from the first time. You should work hard, study as much as you could. Information is accessible. And I know most people are afraid to look bad or to lose their money or this. But end of the day, if you don't start today, you're going to regret it later. When they ask people, what's your biggest regret in life? It's mostly about not doing something that they wanted to do or going to the place that they haven't been to before. So starting early is very important. I cannot stress this enough. And don't go into ventures. Don't cut corners when you're going into ventures. Everything takes time. Do your studies, learn as much as you could, Because when you go and you rush, you lose time and money. But when you start preparing, it's only time then. And it takes time and money. If you're passionate and you're willing to put the work, you will find a way forward. This is my advice. And thank you so much for having me today. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a pleasure for me, Hamad. I've learned so much from talking to you, and we'll definitely add all the details for your social media if people would like to follow you, and also if they need the best haircut in the UAE, they can come to Mantis, and we'll definitely put the details over there. Hamad Al Marri, thank you again so much for coming to this podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Business Time, the main stage for your business.